Hey guys, welcome to the Learn to Code channel. I had to do part one over again because it was so bad on the first take that I just couldn't live with it. So a quick overview of myself. Hi, I'm Nate, living in San Diego right now, originally from Vegas. I've been professionally programming for about 7 years, completely self-taught, love to program. I've done everything from iOS development to online gambling applications, and I'm here to share my knowledge with you so that you can be a programmer too, if you want, if that floats your boat. So this channel is all about teaching you how to code professionally, look at the thought process of programmers, and learn how to be a polyglot programmer yourself, highly employable, and have a lot of fun doing it on the way. With this segment, or this series, the first series ever actually, we're going to build a personal finance management app. What this app's going to do is it's going to let us manage our budget, our retirement savings. Maybe we'll add some cool things like stocks and things into there. I don't know yet, but I'm thinking something like mint.com or youneedabudget.com. You can look at those for examples of what we're going to work on. Right now, we're going to work with just a basic budget page so that we can save a budget that we create and load it again and edit it, and then we'll go from there into those other more fun sections. So without further delay, let's get started. So I think we're going to build our front end in React, and React is a web framework in JavaScript. It's a pretty good library. So we're going to go find instructions. Before we continue, you're going to want to make sure you have Node installed and npm. I think that's it for this video. Eventually, we're going to be using PHP and MySQL or MariaDB also. So we're going to head over to the React docs. Make sure this looks correct. You can see the whole screen. That was the problem with the first video. I couldn't see the whole screen, so it was like you could just see a quarter and it was practically useless. Alright, so we're at the React docs. I want to find out how to create a React app. So go in here, click Get Started. We're going to have to install this. I've already done this on my machine, but I'm going to show you where to get the instructions. So here it is right here. So I went to React and I went to Get Started and then Installation, and here it says create a new app. So creating a new application is pretty simple. All we have to do is use npm to install this Create React App program, and then we'd call Create React App and then the name of the app that we want to create. So I'm going to copy this command here. I've already run this npm install g create react app. I'm going to head over to my iTerm window here. This is a Unix terminal. I'm running Mac right now. And we're just going to create a new project called My Money Manager Front End. We're going to have separate front-end and back-end apps. It makes it a lot easier to work in and share your code with other people to work on. So that way you can divvy up work to a front-end developer only with the front-end dependencies. It makes things a lot easier. So while that's going, I'm going to take a look and see what the syntax of React looks like. So let's go into Hello World here. Okay, React DOM render. This is like the really simple version. Here's the JSX version. JSX is like a superset of JavaScript that kind of, it gives you sort of HTML syntax in JavaScript. Let's see. Pin that. See if our app is done building. Still going. Still cooking here. Let that build. Okay, here we go. It's finally moving. So with our budget, I'll show you what we've done, guys. Since I'm redoing part 1, I can show you an example. No, maybe I won't show you an example of what we've already done. Okay, so that's all installed, and we can see at the bottom of the installation output that npm gives us suggestions on what to do next. So it says we suggest that you begin by typing cd my money manager frontend. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to run npm start. Let that go, and look, it pops up a browser for us. Except it popped it up in my incognito window. And here it is. We have a React app. So just like that, I mean, it was 2 or 3 commands, and we have a website up and running, a front end. So let's get going. We're going to build a budget. So what are some key characteristics of a budget? I guess we'll open up our project first. Whoops. That is right here. Alright, so let's look at the structure of the React app that was created for us. So we go ahead and take a look at index. All index is doing is rendering this component called app, basically. It bootstraps the React application, renders this component called app. So let's go take a look at app. And app is basically what we're seeing here. When we go to our web browser, see welcome to React, to get started, edit source app.js. It even tells us what to do, edit source app.js. How nice. So here we are. Basically what we want to do is create a budget, I guess. So we can create a new component. Let's create a new file. I guess let's go over the syntax of this file really quick. So app is a React component, and a component is basically a section of your website that it has HTML and templated items. So we're importing this logo here as part of the image, and basically we're just giving a message about how to start working in React. So we're going to get rid of all this. We don't need this. That was just placeholder text. Hey Chris, if you're watching, what's up, man? I hope you're liking the video so far. Kind of a noob. Anyways, back to the budget. So we've cleared out everything. As you can see, now we have a blank website. Let's go and create a budget. So we're going to call this file budget, and we're going to just copy what's going on in the app, because we want to create our own app component, and we just want a budget component instead of an app component. So we're going to rename this to budget now. How's everything look, Chris? Anyways, we're going to rename our component budget. We're going to give it a class of budget maybe, and let's just put some placeholder text here to make sure that our component is loading in our app. So here's our budget component. We need to export that so that we can import it in our app. So we're going to do import budget budget from budget.js, and then we can include this budget, and let's see if that worked. Hey, there's our budget. Check that out. Not bad, right? That was easy. So let's add some sections to our budget. What do budgets all have? They have income streams, income streams, and that's going to be, oh, React is complaining, I think, because we didn't close these. Income streams. What's an income stream look like? Let's say paycheck. So we get a paycheck for $2,000 twice a month. Let's say that. Yeah, we'll just have one income stream for now. After that, we have something like expenses. Expenses. And an expense would be, for instance, mortgage. And our mortgage is going to be like 1/3 of our income, since we're responsible people. And let's say we pay our mortgage of $1,300 once a month, and we also have to pay for our internet because we're programmers, and that costs $60 once a month. We need line breaks. See how that looks? Hey, we have a budget template here. It's kind of boring, but you get the idea. Let's add some more fields. No, not there yet. Let's add a couple more expenses. Phone is, thanks to stupid AT&T, $120 a month. If anybody has any recommendations on better phone providers, I could definitely use them. Alcohol. Oh man, too much. $400 a month for me and my girlfriend, maybe. I don't know. So there we go. We've got a budget with an income stream and some expenses, but it doesn't look great yet, does it? So let's go and style it. We need to create a CSS file, and let's call it budget. And if we look at the app.js file, we can see that it imports app.css from this file here, and that's all we need to do to get style sheets in a React component. So we're going to go to our budget, and we're going to import budget.css, which we just created. And I think the first things first is we need to align the text to the left, because this is like gross how we've got our budget sitting here all centered and all that. So that's gonna go. Let's go in here. We've got a div called budget, and we're gonna do text align left, and I think we need some margin there probably too. So let's do margin left 20 pixels. I think we're gonna want margin top to of 20 pixels. It's probably fine. Cool. There we go. Now let's organize things a little better. I think what we ought to do is create a div for the income streams. Let's make budget a header, and let's make income streams a smaller header. So headers H1 means header 1, and the higher the number goes, the less important the header is supposed to be. So H1 is the most important header, our budget. And then for each of these items here, and then H2 would be less important, income streams. For each of these items, we're going to add a div. Let's see how that looks versus the expenses section. Okay, cool. So that's a little better. Maybe we'll make this a table, actually. Table body, table row. So let's add some headers real quick to the table. Table header. So the first column is going to be name of the income stream, I guess. The second column is going to be amount, and the third column is going to be frequency. That looks good. So we want the same number of columns, so we'll just copy this down here, and we'll replace this with paycheck. 2,000 and twice a month. Let's just see how that looks. There it is. Something is not right. We need to get rid of this guy floating around there. And see how this reloads by itself? It's nice and easy. Thanks, guys, at React. These guys, instead of table headers, TH, we want them to be table cells, just TD. You should definitely learn the hotkeys for your IDE. It makes things a lot easier. I just use Control-G here to select all 6 of these at once and edit them. Saved a lot of time, probably. It will save you a lot of time in the long run. Let's do the same thing for expenses. So we want to copy this whole section here for income streams and call it expenses instead. Expenses only happen once a month, so we're going to get rid of frequency. That means we don't need this column here. Got dog hair in my teeth. Gross. Okay, so let's add our expenses here. So all we have is we have mortgage, and that is $1,300. Copy that. Maybe do some indentation here. So be good citizens of our code base. So we got mortgage, internet. Need to learn how to spell. Phone. Let's call it liquor. Be classier. 400. 120. 60. Alright, there we go. This is going to look a lot more organized now, I think. It's still not going to be pretty. We'll work on that. But here we go. Now it's all at least separated. You can see very easily this is an income stream right here, and each of these 4 items are expenses. Easy to read. Let's start working on making this dynamic now. So what we're going to do eventually in the next segment of this podcast series, part 2, we are going to load this data from an API. So what we want to do is mock out the response that API is going to do, or serve. So what we're going to do is we're going to mock out some JSON using a JavaScript object literal that represents this entire budget object. So we can do that right here for now, I think. So we're going to do const budget, and that's going to be an object literal. We need to do this inside of our render block here. I did this in the first take of part 1 too for some reason, but this time it won't take so long trying to figure out what's going on. Oops. I don't like semicolons, guys. Alright. So budget has 2 properties, I would say. So it's got these income streams and expenses, and those are arrays. So we're going to create those, and expenses. Alright, and those arrays are arrays of objects. So we're going to have an income stream here. Income stream has a name, paycheck, and then I'm hitting Command D to duplicate this. It's going to have amount, and well, amount is a number, I guess. And frequency is also going to be a number. There's an object literal representation of our paycheck. So you can see paycheck is 2,000, and we're not going to format it with the $sign here. We're going to use something to do that for us later. That's kind of separate concern from modeling the data. We want to model our income stream as close to complete truth as possible. So we're going to model it just as a number right now, and then we will format it as in dollars later. So we're going to do the same thing for expenses. I'm going to just copy the format over of the income streams, and we don't have frequency for expenses. And we're just going to duplicate this 4 times for our 4 different expenses. And remember, we have mortgage, internet, phone, and liquor. Felicia likes cheaper wine. That would get the liquor bill down a little bit. Phone, liquor, internet was 60, phone 120, liquor 400. So now we're going to template out this budget so that this JSON representation, which looks like an API response, so this is something we could actually load from the internet, can be mapped onto our template here. So we're going to use map for that. But first, we need to create 2 more React components. So we're going to create a React component called IncomeStream. And this is going to describe how we render the IncomeStream table row. And that looks something like this. So I guess we can just rip this off, right? We'll just take this, and that should be, sorry, need to do things right. Sorry guys, got sidetracked here. So this is what our income stream looks like in HTML. So we're going to take that and pop it into our IncomeStream React component. Now we're going to learn about props for the first time. So a prop is the data that you pass to your React component so that it knows what values to put into certain fields. So instead of hard coding paycheck in here, we're going to take this.props.name, and name comes from this field right here in our income streams, because we're going to loop over each of our income streams and map them to an income stream React component. So that's going to be this prop's name. This is going to be this prop's amount, and this guy is going to be this prop's frequency. So how do we use this income stream and this data from our API instead of our hard-coded value that was here? What we need to do, income stream components, and we can do budget.incomestreams map. This is going to be income stream object, and we're going to map it to a new income stream, and we're going to pass everything. So this is the spread operator, and what it does is it deconstructs this income stream object. It's a React thing. It's an ECMAScript 6 syntax that React recommends you use. Basically, what you need to know is that it's going to split up each of these fields and pass them as a prop into our income stream. And we use the props here. See, this prop's name, that corresponds to this name right here. So here we have our income stream components. Now we're just going to pop that in here. And we'll see if we got this on the first try. Maybe we did. We did, look at that. So we have our paycheck here. Now let's add another income stream to just show you now that it's dynamic. So we have a paycheck. Let's say we also do some consulting, and we can say that we make like $300 a month consulting or something. Let's see it. There it is. All we had to do now is change this JSON representation of our budget, and it automatically mirrored onto, or it's templated out and mirrored in our website here. So let's do the same thing again for expense. class expense extends component. And if these got more complicated, you could put them in their own files over here. But they're pretty simple for now, so I think we'll just we'll keep them here with the budget. Shamelessly ripping off the innards of IncomeStream here. All we got to do is get rid of the frequency, and now we have our expense component. So we're going to do the same exact thing we did here for IncomeStream components for expense components. So I'm just going to hover over this and click Command D to duplicate. Expenses. Expenses. And use an expense component. So now we should have our expenses here. Let's get rid of this. Whoops. Expenses. Let's see if that worked. There they are. Let's change liquor. Maybe 400 is a little bigger of an estimate. Maybe it's $3.99. And there it is. So now we have a dynamic template that renders out our budget from this model here. Now, normally we would be feeding this budget into our component. So let's actually define this budget in our app and pass it as a prop in a similar way that we do here. So we're going to go back out to app, and we're just going to paste our budget here. And we're going to pass this as a prop to our budget. This is how you pass props. So we passed income streams as a prop and expenses as a prop because we use this spread operator to spread the budget object out. Here's Todd with the weather. Hi, buddy. You wanna teach these noobs how to program? Just kidding, guys. Yep. Okay. Right. So we were passing the budget props to our budget, and now in the budget, we need to call this .props.IncomeStream, and this props expenses, and let's see how that worked out. There we go. So now we're feeding our props to the budget from our app component. Let's see. I think that's going to be the bulk of our work for this episode, guys. Actually, all of it. Thanks for watching. In part 2, we're going to go over how to load that budget JSON from an API. We're going to actually create an API. It takes about 1 hour using PHP and Symfony. So you might want to get started installing PHP on your machine before you watch that video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we're going to do a lot more of this and teach you guys how to program. Again, from a self-taught programmer, working professionally now for 7 years. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.